Hello, hello. Welcome back. All right, so this is a bonus video that I am doing for the Honey Bunny card making workshop kit because as I was cutting for mainly the cardstock video, if you've watched the cardstock video, you'll notice there's a little confusion there because there's so much die cutting, and there's also 4 different sizes of butterfly wings that we are dealing with. So I wanted to point out a couple of things to remember. Let's just say it that way. A couple of things to remember. So when I die cut all of my um, thin cuts, I numbered them. Now I've had to number them a couple of times because the Sharpie marker does wear off if you touch it in that spot, but I actually numbered mine. I'm going to flip these over so that you can see in the instructions. I failed to mention this earlier, but in the instructions, it does classify on the very first page. Let me flip these over and then I'll pull this up so you can see it. Right here on the first page, it does classify them as large, medium, small, and extra small. So the way I have them here is I numbered them from 1, 2, 3, 4, with 1 being the largest, or also known as the large, 2 being the medium size, 3 being small, and then you've got this little bitty one, and that's your extra small one. And then you have I say the guts, the guts of the butterfly, like the center parts, along with the little tentacles. You've got those 2 pieces. There's only 6 pieces to the thin cuts set. And I was trying to make the easiest way to do this. And I have some things I'm going to pop up here in a moment. But one thing also to remember, when you're assembling each one of these cards, every single butterfly is two-toned. So for example, I'm looking at card number 1 right here, and I'm just going to bring this back because I took a picture of it. The top part of every butterfly is always going to be the darker of the colors. So while I did the video with the cutting on the light side and the dark side, when you go to actually die cut your butterfly wings, keep that in mind. Now, ask me how I know. When I was doing die cutting, I wasn't paying attention. So what happens when you don't pay attention? I'm bringing them over here so I can show you. I have a bunch of sizes of butterfly wings. Now they just happen to be the same color. There's a few of them that got left over there, but these are still totally usable. But when I went to go assemble and kind of do a mock-up of each card for this, I realized that they were, in some cases, I had flip-flopped them because I wasn't paying attention to the side that I was die cutting on. And so that's very important when you go and do your die cutting. Make sure that you are cutting the top one, the larger piece of the butterfly wing, to be darker, and the lower section to be the lighter of that color. The only exception to that is, and it's not really an exception, is card number 2, because the top part is the DSP or the pattern paper, and the bottom is going to be the lighter of the limeade. So, but everything else falls in line with that as far as being like, here's card number 4. You can see the darker is on top and the lighter ones are on the bottom in all those colors. That's what you want to focus on. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And now I'm going to show you some pictures here. That's how I numbered them from large to small, or as they say in their instructions, large, medium, small, and extra small. So as far as cutting your cardstock, now I'm going to tell you right now, if you cut your cardstock to where you are maximizing the pieces that you've cut, you're going to have extra pieces of cardstock left over already cut. That's a lot of scraps that I was able to create just by like really, let me show you here. Just by really maximizing what I could put on the sheet. And this is a good example right here. This piece of limeade, I think I cut the light side on this one. I was able to cut a medium size. I have to, yeah, it's a medium size. I was able to cut a medium size and two of the smaller size, so the number threes, on one piece. And then I'm looking through my trash real quick. And on another piece that I cut, that's the second piece. So what I did is I took two of my pieces and I actually was able to die cut two at a time. And then on the same one, I was able to die cut two at a time to get all the four that I needed. So on the third piece of limeade, I'm looking for my third piece of limeade. I was able to, sorry, I'm looking at my trash. I was able to die cut two of those same butterfly wings back to back. Okay, so I was able to do that back to back. And then that is why over here, where is it? I have an extra piece of limeade. So you see how I was able to maximize? Now, you can do that for almost every single cut. So you're going to have, if you do that where you can maximize your cardstock like that, you're going to have extra pieces. And that's why I have so many extra pieces. Now, I don't have any extra pieces of the peach because I had to go back because of my boo-boos. I had to go back and die cut. And that's why I have so many extra peach die cuts for the wings, different sizes. But that's just one example. And that is like that between the black, the pattern paper, the limeade, and then also I forgot what this color is. I forgot what that color is. Let me see. I don't remember what that color is, but it's a blue color off the top of my head. Oh, here it is. It is the Seabrook. Sorry about that. It's the Seabrook. So that's why I have so many pieces left over that are totally usable. And so I think you'll be happy with the amount of scraps that you get. Now I showed for like project 4, this is the body of the butterflies, the two smaller butterflies. And you'll notice over here to the left, that paper is bent. Well, the paper is the size of what it said to cut in the instructions. All I did is in the instructions, when you see a cut and it has a dotted line down the middle, that means you can fold the paper and you can stack die. So I was able to fold that little piece of paper in two and get two cuts. Now, if you look at it real closely, if you really, really want to be stingy with the paper, you could actually get all 4 cuts on one paper. If you move your die cuts just a little bit closer, I could have done 3 in a row and then put 1 along the bottom. Okay, but I just showed you that. I still have good extra black die cut, black scraps left over, but I mean, there's some really good efficient ways to utilize your cuts, and I would have ended up having an extra piece of black. So that would have been, those are your parts for P4. And then here's another little picture I did for P4 and P3. Same thing, as you can see on that black piece of cardstock, there is a lot of room for some extra die cutting to be happening. So if you need to stop and pause it and take a picture, you can stop and pause and take pictures along the way so that you can get an idea of what you need to cut and how many you need to cut. And I did put little P3s and P4s next to them. That way you know that those go with project 3, which is card 3, or project 4, which is card number 4. The next one is all the pieces for project 1. So card number 1. And then this one are the pieces for project 2, card 2, and project 3, card 3. So you can see kind of how, there's I could have just had extra cardstock scraps. And then also for project number 2, the pattern paper. And that's why I have 2 extra pieces. Hopefully you can see it right here on the side. That's why I have 2 extra pieces of pattern paper, which is nice to have. Now, these are some visuals. I just kind of put these together really quick. They're not glued down or anything like that. To give you an idea, in project 1, you're going to have these pieces, and I labeled them in order of, largest to small. So number 1 has the large, dark on top, dark peach on top, and number 2 has the lighter, medium piece on the bottom, and then number 3 is the dark Seabrook small on top, and number 4 has the lighter Seabrook extra small on the bottom. Hopefully that makes sense. But like I said, you can stop and take a picture if it gives you a good visual of how many you need to cut. So for card number 1, project 1, you're going to need 4 number 1s on top, and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on and so on. Now card number 2 is the one that has that pretty pattern paper as the top, and then the number 2 is the medium limeade, the light on the bottom. That looks dark, but it is light. And that's project number 2. That one's a little easier. And then project number 3, you're using 3s and 4s, which is the small and extra small for these. So I put on top number 3 for your limeade and your peach, and the bottom ones are number 4, the extra small ones, for limeade and peach. And that bottom one is light. It just, with the lighting that I had, it makes it look like it's the same, but it is light. And then the last one is for project number 4. So you've got the 2 big ones, the larger butterfly in the middle, with number 1 and 2, dark on top, light on bottom. And then your top butterfly and your bottom butterfly, your tops are number 3s, which is going to be your small. And your number 4s is going to be the extra small in the lighter colors of peach and limeade. So hopefully that will help you when it comes to your die cutting. Just keep in mind, like I said, on all of your cards, the darker image, the darker of the cardstock color, is going to be at the top, and your lighter ones are going to be on the bottom. And so, like I said, if you need to go back and take a picture of each one of these, feel free to rewind back, go do that, if that'll help you. And I hope that you can get more scraps out of the deal. I could have been really, really stingy with my scraps and really, really maximized the paper that I used. But I'm still happy with the amount of scraps I was able to save from the cardstock cutting video, and even the pattern paper video that I did for the top of that card number 2. So hopefully that helps explain it a little bit better. I had some other things drawn up, and I was like, yeah, that is way too confusing. So this was the best way I could figure out how to explain how to put these together and what you need for each card. So I'm a visual person. Just tell me how many and what it needs to look like. And so hopefully this has helped you. You can number, or you can write large, medium, small, extra small, whatever way. Everybody learns a little different. So whatever way helps you to know which one's large, which one's medium, which one's the small, and which one's the extra small, you go for it. Okay. Just keep in mind, if you mark these with your Sharpie, every time I touch it, I've got black on the bottom of my fingers. It rubs off. So you might have to reapply it, or maybe you can put a small label on it. I guess I could do a little label with my little label maker here, but I was just thinking of the fastest way to do a video real quick to help explain, and hopefully that makes sense. If you have any feedback, go ahead and leave it down in the comments section. And until then, I will see you in the next video.